Hello YouTube, welcome to another one of my Duel Links videos. So today I have for you a Paleozoic deck. Now I just finished streaming the pack opening. A lot of you made it, so you guys know that I pulled 3 Paleozoic Canadia, which is it's pretty amazing. It's a UR, so I didn't expect to get a set of them. I was lucky enough to get them, and I didn't get mass change. I didn't get a second mass change, so some of those decks I gotta put on hold until I can buy more packs. But I have the full Paleozoic, so I went ahead and started with the deck. And let me tell you, the deck is pretty insane. It's really fun to use. It's right now it's catching a lot of people off guard. Now, is this gonna be meta? Probably not, because things like Giant Tornado are gonna be a big counter. Cosmic Cyclone is gonna be a huge counter. Anti-magic arrows, stuff like that. It's gonna, you know, mess up with some of the plays you want to do with this deck. But I still think it's really strong. I'm using Chain Reaction for that cheap burn damage, but I'm actually not sure if that's going to be the best skill. Something like Tie That Binds might work also. I don't know. You can try different skills. So far I'm liking Chain Reaction, but let's get to the deck list. We'll start with the trap monsters first. We got 3 Paleozoic Canadia, which is the expensive card. It's the UR. It's the only card with high rarity. Okay, all Paleozoics have the same effect, which is once per chain, when a trap card is activated while this card is in your graveyard, special summon this card as a normal monster, Aqua type, water, level 2, 1200 attack, 0 defense. This card is not treated as a trap card. Now, what that means is that the card is going to be in your monster zone. It's not going to be in your trap zone, like things like what's the card that's escaping me right now? You know, those continuous traps that are also monsters and they take up 2 slots. This cards only take up your monster slot. If summoned this way, this card is unaffected by monster effects. That is actually pretty big, because things like Rebo are not going to stop him. Alien counters from monsters are not gonna go on them. Martial Leaf cannot destroy this, so it's a pretty good effect. Now they're very weak at 1200. Oh, also banish it when it leaves the field. They're very weak at 1200, so that's why we're running the 2 Wetlands, one of them Prismatic, which is gonna give them 1200 attack. Now, like I said, all the Paleozoics have the same effect, except for their unique initial effect. Paleozoic Canadia can target one face-up monster your opponent controls, change it into defense position. Paleozoic Pikaia, which I would argue this might be the best of the Paleozoic. You discard another Paleozoic card and you draw 2 cards. So it's really good because it's going to put 2 Paleozoic cards in the graveyards, you know, one from the hand and itself, and then you're going to get to draw 2 cards. So I really like Pikaia. I'm surprised that it's just a rare, and you could argue that it's better than Canadia. But anyway, we have 1 Paleozoic Lean Cholia. You target 1 banished card, return it to the graveyard. Obviously, you use this to replenish your Paleozoic monsters that have been banished. I only threw it in here as a one-off. The other card, there's another card that can give you 500 attack and 500 defense. I believe it's this one right here. Yeah, Eldonia. I didn't really like the effect, so I just went with this in case we need to replenish the resources. But just a one-off to make it a full 10 monsters, or you know, 10 trap monsters. And then 3 Paleozoic Morella. This card is really good. It's gonna let you send 1 trap card from your deck to the graveyard, so it'll immediately put a Paleozoic trap card in the graveyard that you can summon. Now, you won't be able to summon the one that you're sending during the same chain, so you'll have to, you know, wait until there's another trap chain. Another important thing is that your opponent's trap cards will also trigger your Paleozoic monster, so it doesn't have to be your trap card. But anyway, the rest of the traps are pretty defensive cards. Wow, Curse of Anubis, we have Windstorm, 1 Wall Disruption, 1 Draining Shield, and 1 Mirror Wall. Oh, I'm sorry, 2 Wall Disruptions, 1 Mirror Wall, and then 1 Draining Shield. You can use whatever traps you want. Those were just my personal preference. And then the boss monster, because this deck absolutely needed a boss monster. In the TCG, there are XC's monsters. Obviously, we don't have that, so I went with Vision Hero Witch Rider, which is insane in this deck. Basically, any 2 traps on your field, you can tribute to normal summon this. That includes face down and obviously your monsters. So it's very easy to summon Vision Hero Witch Rider, and when you tribute summon it, actually just when you normal summon it, you destroy all spell and trap cards your opponent controls. So that's how we deal with back row in this deck. That is actually the only way we deal with back row, and it's insane. If you summon this card more often than not, you're gonna win the game. 2700 beater, 1900 defense. But yeah, I think I've hyped up the deck enough. Sorry if the deck explanation went for too long, but let's get you into some spicy replays. I do have to work tomorrow, so normally I play a bunch of duels and then I pick out the best replays. These were in probably the first 7 or 8 games, so I didn't get to really pick and choose. But you still see the full potential of the deck, which I think it's really cool and I think it's really fun. We're gonna begin Duel Standby. I believe this was Mill. I actually didn't get to see a whole lot of what this person did, but I went with Pakaya, which again, you discard 1 to draw 2, Mirror Wall and Wall of Disruption, and then I'm gonna activate my Wetlands so that when I summon one of my Paleozoics, they're gonna be 2400. He ends his turn, so I'm gonna draw 2, and I decided to go ahead and flip over my Mirror Wall. When I saw that he didn't summon anything to attack, I realized that this was more than likely Mill. So my Mirror Wall is not gonna do me a whole lot of good. Instead, I just used it in the chain, and this is what I was talking about. I go for the 2400 directly. He tries to activate Sphere Karibo, but my Paleozoics are unaffected, so he takes that full 2400. Mirror Wall is gonna go away. I'm gonna attack. We see the Wall of Disruption. I could have summoned another Paleozoic if I wanted to with his Wall of Disruption, but obviously that would have lowered my attack even more, so I just win the game. That easy. Not a whole lot of resistance from my opponent, obviously, and I did get to start with an extra card because of the Duel Standby. So that was pretty nice and easy. We got another Tea Gardner. I do want to give 2 quick shoutouts. One to my boy David Lee for always supporting the pack openings, through my PayPal. I really appreciate that, man. And also to my boy Randy for the same reason. This pack opening was all free to play until they donated to the cause, and I was able to buy some packs afterwards. So we're going up against Red Eyes Paladin or Felgren, and we're gonna see a double Paladin. I didn't mind this. I could have activated my Canada and switched this into defense mode, but I didn't really want to have a dragon on the graveyard, because as long as there's not a dragon in the graveyard, he can't activate the effect to special summon it. Instead, I use my Pakaya right away, so that when in fact I use my Canada, I can summon the Pakaya from the grave. We're gonna send 1 from the hand to draw 2, and we pick up our boss monster, Witch Rider. So I take the first 1700, and I'm gonna flip into defense mode, the one that has the Arcbrave Dragon. That way he doesn't get the value from Arcbrave. He doesn't have another dragon, so he can't special summon anything. And I get 2 monsters. I'm sorry, 1 monster out of that. During the end phase, I activate another Paleozoic card, so I can summon another monster. Mill 1 from my deck. I go ahead and tribute both monsters, destroy all the destroy his back row, including his equipped card. We're gonna see Dragon Knight of Creation, and I'm not sure what my opponent was doing. One, he was either playing around the Wall of Disruption, which is the only thing that would be like a good play. Otherwise, he didn't really know how to use the deck, so he was just activating effects. Because I'm gonna draw 2 again, by the way. Summon a Morella in attack mode so I can bait out an attack into my Wall of Disruption. We're gonna see Arcbrave being summoned, and then he activates the effect again just to summon Arcbrave. So he lost the monster. That way he loses less attack, I guess, with Wall of Disruption. But I really think he just didn't know what he was doing. He sets 1 card. I'm gonna summon another Morella from the graveyard. I draw a card so I can tribute summon my other Vision Hero, get rid of that back row just in case it was something threatening, and then win the game. 2 back row wipes, very easy. chances are you're always gonna have two trap cards to tribute summon your vision hero. I mean, the deck is, you know, it's 16 traps, and you're gonna be summoning a trap from the graveyard every time you activate one of them. So it's very easy to get the tribute condition. Would I bump it to 3? I don't think so. I think this ratio is okay. I might switch the trap cards. You know, maybe put something else instead of Draining Shield. But I don't know yet. We're going up against Alien, 30 card deck Alien. Something I've never seen before. And it was kind of unfortunate that he's running normal monsters. But here I'm going to activate Morella's effect. Send another Morella to the graveyard. So that when I activate my Wild Disruption, I'm able to summon one of them. And this was kind of a misplay on my part. I didn't expect another normal monster, so I went with Curse of Anubis over the Windstorm. And he ends up having an Econ, so you have no defense, which means your monster's more like it's going to die. But I activate the Draining Shield on the 1800 vanilla. I save my Curse of Anubis because no point in flipping one Alien Warrior into defense mode. And I get to summon my other Morella after the Draining Shield. I decide to get rid of both of my defensive options so that I can go for the OTK right here, because he has 2 weak monsters and I have over 4,000 damage over the both the monsters. He activates a Cell Recombination Device on the wrong monster, in my opinion. Really, it didn't matter because I just had to kill the Alien Warrior, which is the only one that has the effect. So whichever one he targeted, I would have just killed the Warrior with the other one. So I killed the Warrior. As you can see, he was not able to put any counters on my Paleozoic because, again, it's unaffected by monster effects. And then I just kill him over the Shock Trooper, or whatever his name is. Now, the reason why I went backwards with the replays is because I believe these last two were the spiciest. This was my first and second duel with the deck, and that's where I realized how, you know, how much potential the deck really has. But, you know, it's not going to be meta defining, as I mentioned. But it is fun to use. We're going first. We have our Prismatic Wetlands, which is amazing. We also have Pikaia and Draining Shield. That's why I didn't set the Morella, so that I could draw 2. And then I have the Draining Shield for when he attacks. Not only am I going to gain the 1800 life points, I'm also going to summon my Pikaia to the field, 2400 beater. And I pick up Canadia, which is real good. I have my Vision here, Witch Rider, so, well, you know, all I need to draw is a trap card if I want to summon it. But I decided to take it slow. No reason to rush into the A-Cell recombinations, which I assume that's what they were. But I was wrong. Look at this man's play. I have to admit it was a pretty good play. We're gonna see A-Cell recombination device on my Pikaia. He's gonna discard. I mean, he's gonna remove 2 to summon his Overlord. That's gonna let me summon a Morella from the graveyard. Like I said, you can activate this when they activate traps. He's got another A-Cell recombination, and he flips up another Brainwashing Beam. So right there, look at that field. But I decided to use my Canadia right now and flip the Alien Overlord into defense mode. I'm not sure what happens if you flip a trap monster into face down defense position. I don't know if it goes to the back row. I'm honestly not sure, but I didn't try it. I went for the Alien Overlord, and I was only afraid of that card being anti-magic arrows because I have a Windstorm. It ends up being another Alien Overlord, so I know that I've won the game pretty much. I'm gonna activate my Windstorm. That's gonna let me summon my Canadia from the field. I mean, from the graveyard. And I've already drawn my 2 spells and one of my monsters, so 11 out of 12 cards in the deck are going to be a trap card, which is all I need to win the game. Brainwashing is going to remove some counters. Notice that this is wrong. It says that there's no more counters, but there's actually 3 of them. So I pick up a trap, tribute the trap, and Pikaia on the monster field, destroyed his Brainwashing. Take control of my monsters once again, and then just hit him for game. Once you get your wetlands, this deck becomes very aggressive, and you'll see wetlands consistently enough, since you have, you know, your Picayas in order to draw into more cards. You also have your Morellas to you know, thin the deck by sending trap cards into the grave. So the deck overall functioned very well in my opinion. But this is gonna be the last replay against the Mako, and this was a plus for me because my monsters are aqua, so they're gonna get that 200 attack boost from the Umi. We're gonna set 3 back row, activate our wetlands. We start with Morella first so we can send something to the grave. Next we're gonna draw 2 and summon one of our monsters from the graveyard. We're gonna see the Super Rush Headlong, and that's completely fine because I have a Windstorm. And not only am I protecting my monster, I get to summon another one. So the Windstorm was definitely worth it right there. And I'm in the same position. All I need to draw is another trap card, or if I want to, I contribute both of these to get rid of all the back row, which in Mako, in Mako decks, you know, they have some pretty strong back row. We're gonna see the Super Rush Headlong, and that's fine because I have a dark and I have a water. So I just destroy him with the water, hit him for 27. Sets a face down, sets a monster. Activates Powerful Rebirth, which would have protected him from losing the game, but it's a trap card, so I get to summon another one of my Paleozoics, and that gives me the win. But just look at this card advantage. Completely obliterated Mako. But anyway, that's it for the deck. I'm really glad I was able to put this out after the pack opening that, you know, a lot of you guys came to watch, and, you know, people supported the cause for those packs. So very happy with the deck. Thank you so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed this video. As always, like, comment, and subscribe if you want. Join my Discord if you haven't. The link will be down in the description, along with my PayPal link if you guys want to support my channel, support my content. I really appreciate that, and till next time.